Thank you so much, Jacob, and thank you, Dr. Krantz, and thank you to the staff of CIJR. In his absence, Dr. Gerstenfeld, whose work on anti-Semitism has been so important. It's a pleasure to be here with you tonight. Many of you may have seen in the last couple of weeks, the Anti-Defamation League released its worldwide statistics on anti-Semitism for 2019. And new results came in from Canada. The number of Canadians who were determined to be anti-Semitic based on that study was 8%. Now, 8% is probably the lowest of almost any nation in the world. I think only the Netherlands and Sweden came in lower. But that being said, 25% of Canadians said yes to the question, are Jews more loyal to Israel than to their own country? And that is a very scary statistic because it talks about the new form of anti-Semitism. We're all used to the old form of anti-Semitism, religious anti-Semitism, so-called the Jews killed Christ, the Jews used blood of Christian children for matzah, etc. You could, theoretically, get rid of that old form of anti-Semitism if you converted and became a Christian. Now, most people didn't. Some did. Then you moved into racial anti-Semitism of the Nazi form. Starting in the 1880s, 1890s, you used to get into the Jews are a people, and no matter what you do, converting to any other religion, you're still a Jew, and racially, you were deemed inferior. Now that anti-Semitism sort of became less in vogue, it became less polite to talk about it, so we ended up with the new form of anti-Semitism, which is BDS, which is anti-Israel anti-Semitism, which is substituting the word Zionist for Jew. And we run all across the world into a rampant form of anti-Semitism that is ingrained in Western societies. So we need to tackle that. What are the different ways that we're trying to tackle that? Well, we did adopt a resolution in the House of Commons condemning BDS as a new form of anti-Semitism. One of the only countries in the world that had a national legislature that did that. We've quadrupled funding for the infrastructure program that protects synagogues and community centers. Very important in a world where you still have to deal with potential danger at your doorstep. We, as members of Parliament, and Erwin Kotler in this room is probably the greatest example of any person living today who confronts Canadian anti-Semitism. We have to go from campus to campus across this country, speaking out against BDS, speaking against Israel Apartheid Week and the new form of anti-Semitism. And we do try to do that. But the one thing that I think we've done over the last few years that has been the most important is we've adopted the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism across government, and it should be applied across all governments and all institutions in Canada. Because those examples given under the IRA definition of anti-Semitism call out anti-Semitism for what it is. And we across Canada should know that. Now there's people who, rightly so, say, we're concerned about freedom of expression. We don't want in Canada to be afraid to say certain things. And what I remind those people all the time is, the IRA definition doesn't criminalize anti-Semitism. Hate speech in Canada is criminal, and we're allowed in Canada. We don't have that broad First Amendment like they do in the United States. Speech is subject to reasonable limits, and hate speech is hate speech. The IRA definition doesn't change what is hate speech. It simply calls out bigotry and anti-Semitism for what it is. So that when you're on the university campus and you have a group that says that Israel is an apartheid state or a criminal state, it's not criminal, but it's anti-Semitic, and the university should know that and adopt its policies so that those clubs who are not subject to criminal penalty are subject to the university's code of ethics. The same is true of Côte Saint-Luc. If Côte Saint-Luc is asked to rent a room to a group that advocates for something that is anti-Semitic, and it's a violation of Côte Saint-Luc policies, Côte Saint-Luc should know it, and by applying the IRA definition, they can. So, all of us, and I know CIJR will be at the forefront, need to keep fighting against the scourge of anti-Semitism across Canada. And I can only pledge to you, as one of your 338 members of Parliament, I will continue to try to do that each and every day that I'm there. Thank you so much.